The Cheesecake Factory that's been in downtown Seattle for 23 years. It is closing. And you know what the reason was given for the closing? Yeah, there really wasn't one, which tells you everything you need to know, because they're keeping the other cheesecake factories. They're keeping the one here in Bellevue. They're keeping one in Tukwila, I think Linwood, a couple other places. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the real reason the Seattle Cheesecake Factory is closing. Here we go. Here's something I want you to consider. Think about this. Just think about this for just a quick second. Pike Place Market, where they hurl the fish, right? Nobody's ever seen flying fish before. Oh, it's the greatest thing in the world. Pike Place Market receives more than 10 million visitors each year. December of 2024, the Pike Place Market received 2.4 million visitors in 1 month, just a couple of months ago, right? Here is the map. So you're telling me, let me get my little yellow guy here. You are literally telling me, here's the Pike Place Market, here's the Cheesecake Factory, 10 million people a year come here, 2.4 million in December alone, and they aren't going to walk the however many blocks it is to here to eat. So it's not a business issue, is it? And this just makes absolute zero sense. What you don't see with this map is the fact that we have got right here between Pike and Pine and Pike on 3rd Avenue. That is one of the worst cities in all of Seattle, in all of Washington. It's horrific. Open air drug use, buying and selling stolen goods, you name it, shenanigans, murders, shootings, stabbings. They have happened right here. So in order to go from the Pike Place Market down Pine Street, or you can walk just a couple of blocks here and then go up here to the Cheesecake Factory. Bottom line is, people aren't doing that. They're not doing that. Here's Westlake Park, where a lot of the activism happens. And from Westlake Park, you can literally look down the street and see Pike Place Market. But this area here where the Cheesecake Factory is, it's in such a sketchy area that they're closing it down. They're just closing it down. Let's watch a quick video.
End of an era for the Cheesecake Factory in downtown Seattle. After more than 20 years of business on Pike Street, the restaurant will serve its last customers on May 4th. That is according to a spokesperson. It opened up its doors back in the year 2002. The company says the decision to close came after a quote, review and analysis, but they didn't give a clear reason. Locations that will be open in Bellevue, Linwood, Tukwila, and Tacoma.
All right. So they're keeping the one in Tacoma, but they are not keeping the one in downtown Seattle. This is an isolated locational issue is what you've got going on here. Because other areas of the city, 10 million people to the Pike Place Market, and these stores can't make a go of it. Starbucks pulled out of basically Pike Place Market. They pulled out multiple shops here. You've got businesses that have gone out left and right from this area of downtown Seattle because it's a free-for-all at the street level and everybody knows it. Let's look at the actual stories themselves, see what it says. Downtown Seattle Cheesecake, okay, yada, yada. After 23 years in downtown Seattle, closing its doors, decision was made after extensive review and analysis. Well, bottom line is, it wasn't making enough money because you don't have enough people going through it. And even if you did, you've got a safety factor. You've got your employees, you've got your management, you've got your customers. And this isn't the first story to go out and basically state Cheesecake Factory has not stated that they're going out of business because of safety issues, but that's the bottom line, right? There's no other reason. If it was a lease, if their lease didn't work out, they'd say, well, we had extensive back and forth with the ownership of the complex. We're going to go find a better location for this, for our restaurant. We're going to do something. Something's going to happen. But instead, Cheesecake Factory is saying, we had an important analysis and we decided to get the F out of there. We're gone. We gotta go. Last day of the restaurant at 700 Pike Street will be open is May 4th. We have truly enjoyed, here's corporate speak, we have truly enjoyed being a part of the downtown Seattle community over the last 23 years and hope to continue to serve all our Seattle guests, all those ones that wanted to come to downtown, but you can't. Let's go over to Bellevue. It's safer there. Let's go to Tukwila. It's safer there. Let's go to Tacoma. It's safer there. Huh. Weird. Hope to continue to serve all of our Seattle guests at our nearby restaurant locations. What you are witnessing is progressive policy in action or in inaction is what you're looking at. What could possibly go wrong if you allow people to do whatever drugs they want, if you provide them all types of services, specifically in the downtown core, if you decriminalize drugs, if you decriminalize crime, take a felony, make it a misdemeanor, make shoplifting essentially legal, defund your police, what could possibly go wrong? What could go wrong? This is happening now without even a real whisper from corporate as to why they're doing what they're doing. It's just become so out in the open. Oh, we got to go. This does not make sense from a financial decision, even if dollars are flowing in, because the risk is too great that they are one of their chefs, one of their whatever people gets murdered at the street level. Store gets broken into. You got Looney Tunes running around. You don't want to be that business that is identified, even if it's not your fault. You get some nut job coming into your store, whacking people up with a machete. That is a viable storyline. Machetes are everywhere in Seattle. Just did a podcast the other day of two guys were beefing over a bulldog. They were homeless up at 137th and Aurora. Aurora is it's out of control up there. A lot of prostitution, human trafficking, sex trafficking. But, officials and cops and leadership just kind of look the other way and go, oh, well, it's one of these areas where guys got to get off and pay. So it's what we're doing. But you had two guys beefing over a bulldog that had been sold. And one guy took out his machete and started whacking the other dude's truck. Guy in the truck gave him a little bump, knocked him down, then ran over him. Killed him over a pit bull, a dog. Crazy. Let's look at King 5. Popular national restaurant chain set to close in its only Seattle location later this year. We'll shut down May 4th. We're working with our staff. We've enjoyed yada yada. Company has other locations. Decision to close the store came after extensive review. Nothing. They're saying absolutely nothing. They're going out like the other 4 or 5 companies lately that are big corporate companies where they're like, we just can't be here anymore. There's too much exposure. We can't be in a downtown core. Even though you've got numbers coming back, tourism numbers in downtown Seattle are coming back like 84, 85, 86% of pre-pandemic 2019 numbers when things were absolutely rolling. So in spite of having 10,000 visitors to right here, the Gum Wall, Pike Place Market right here, this whole area in here is just a free-for-all. And you got lunatics running around, and nobody wants that kind of liability because these are people that are, number one, they're out of their mind. Number two, they're on drugs. 3, they are very capable of criminal acts. And we see this on the regular. So it's more of a liability issue than it is a cash flow, because otherwise we'd be hearing something like, hey, this store just isn't up to standards. We can't make a go of it here, even though it's only 20-something years old. We can't make a go of it here because they've got too much exposure. But they don't want to say that because they don't want to take a crap on downtown Seattle. Doesn't help downtown Seattle out. And maybe they want to go back in when it gets cleaned up, right? Hey, could we come back? We know we said that the street level conditions were terrible in Seattle, but would you just allow us back anyway? They don't want to do that because it doesn't matter to them. They can pull out and leave, and their customers are going to be like, oh, because most of them are tourists anyway, right? I mean, who goes to the Cheesecake Factory in downtown Seattle that lives here? No. So Last night, I was very close to there. Let's go Virginia Inn. And I'll tell you about my experience. Okay, Virginia Inn. It's like 100 years old. This restaurant I ate at last night. So here's Pike Place Market, right? Then you've got the Virginia Inn, right? And then you've got the Moore Theater. Well, I went to the Moore Theater and I watched Jerry Cantrell play. Lead guitarist and backup vocalist for Alice in Chains. It was epic. It was epic. It was his last tour stop. And I don't know how many tour stops he had, but it was a legit full-time tour. And he sang a third of his songs were Alice in Chains. So it was epic. But I ate here, which is literally next door to the Pike Place Market. Moore Theater here. And because we are north of Pike Street and Pine, we're okay. But you start to get south of Pike and Pine, and that is where the 7th and Pike and Pine, that is where the Cheesecake Factory is. It's like a no-go zone. Anything could happen. So a few blocks in the right direction, you're okay. A few blocks not in the right direction. So we walked from the inn, the place we were eating, we walked from Virginia Inn up to Moore Theater. Took us a couple of minutes, and just lots of people around, lots of tourists, because that's what's in that section of town, and a lot of people going to see Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains. Zero issues. Parked on the street, left a really nice vehicle on the street. Zero issues. Few blocks different direction. Oof. Yeah, tricky. So that's why a lot of people say, I went there and it seemed fine, because you weren't in the wrong section of town. And you go a couple of blocks, it changes like that. Literally, you can see it change. You're like, okay, that over there is okay. Here, not so much. Because people know where their no-go zone is. They know where their go zone is. And Pike and Pine on 3rd in Seattle, that is a known area where it's, basically rules are up. There are no rules. It's anything goes. And Seattle has kind of made that the section of town where all the craziness has happened. Just the absolute lunacy is. And when you've got a restaurant named the Cheesecake Factory, and you don't want to come right out and say our location is dangerous, but you also want to keep not only your patrons, but your employees, your food vendors, your management. You want to keep all those folks safe, and you don't have the ability to do that within that location. Close her down. Not that hard. Close her down. And again, this isn't just happening to a cheesecake factory because everybody's focused on health. It's not like that. It is all kinds of different businesses. The Nike store, Starbucks, PCC, co-op that sells groceries, all jewelry shops, all kinds of stores have closed down. And there's a map that shows the vacancy at street level within this section of downtown Seattle. It is not pretty. Let's just say it's a lot of red. There's red highlighting entire blocks of exterior storefront to the street. There's nobody occupying those businesses because of the fear of what the liability is. Break-ins, crazy people hopped up on drugs, crime, guns, you name it. Go a few blocks the other way. All is good. 10 million people. Jerry Cantrell. Nice meal at the Virginia Inn. It's all fine. It's all good. You've got that dichotomy going on. You've got a real difference between, all right, we're here and we're there. So, I think a lot of people have this notion that downtown Seattle is just all road warrior. It's not. But there are some areas where it's like that. And what is crazy is you'll be walking along and then all of a sudden you switch blocks and you'll be like, oh, where are we now? Oh, geez, good Lord, didn't need to see that. Oof. Oh, what's going on over there? Oh, is that guy smoking fentanyl? Yeah, that guy's smoking fentanyl. Huh? Weird. Yeah, it's like that. So yet another national big name brand leaving downtown Seattle. And it's gotten to the point where it's just laughable now. And none of these stores, none of these chains, none of these businesses, they just don't even give an answer anymore as to why. And people are like, oh, media isn't even going to report it because it's already gone a foregone conclusion that downtown has its difficulties. Downtown at times can be a free for all, and weird that corporate America says, no siree, we're not going there. We out of here. But hey, come visit us not only online, but shop with us at our other stores in Tukwila, Linwood, Everett. Now, where was it? Tukwila, whatever. Go eat there. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.